Yo, what is good? My Quick Crypto family and my Coin Factory family, we're back again with your daily Kaspa Crypto live stream. And despite the market looking a little bit lackluster with price action today, Bitcoin's doing fantastic, almost reaching 120k once again, but Ethereum and the other alts have been stagnant, which is to be expected, is not that weird to see. And truth be told, this incoming week could end up being quite a negative one. Of course, to understand what I mean by that, I'll provide a little bit of an update in this stream, but I covered it in a lot more detail with my VIPs earlier today. Point being is the market right now, for the most part, is still holding up quite well, quite nicely. And we have a lot of huge news to get into in today's stream. As the title highlights, there seems to be quite a significant short squeeze coming for Kaspa very soon. Bitcoin Maxis have now officially accepted Kaspa as superior in regards to its speed and technology and, transaction costs. Of course, they're still standing strong on their stance of, Bitcoin's still the ultimate, because it's the longest standing asset. You can't change that sentiment, but Kaspa, I think, being superior with technology will prove everybody wrong in the coming months and years to follow. And then, after a little bit of a teaser, and I guess just because I want to, I covered this with my VIPs earlier today, and they get access to all this information ahead of time, in real time, when we find out about it. And what I'm going to showcase today is one of my institutional documents from Signum Bank, their monthly investment outlook. I did showcase this picture on screen probably 2 or 3 days back. Went through it with my VIPs today, and I'm not going to go through the whole document because that'd be unfair to those who are actively part of the VIP, who are paying to be a part of the community, who are actively wanting to level up their trading game, their crypto game. But I'll cover up some key points from here, which is institutional confirmation that this bull cycle may extend into 2026. Not me saying it now. Institutional sentiment saying that. That is a lot bigger than just your random KOL saying that. So we'll get into this document in a little bit. But we'll be covering, of course, the other big developments, covering some of the potential weekly outlooks, what we saw last week, and then, of course, a lot of the massive Kaspa developments. If you want to find out more, though, get ahead of the game to better position yourself for what is to come, definitely check out the VIP. You can join for free for a week, for 7 days, or thanks to our working together with BYDFI in exchange of no KYC and no VPN and regulatory licenses in Canada, the United States, Australia, Ethiopia, and many more regions. Should you sign up through the affiliate link to BYDFI down below and check out the free Discord server, you can see in the Get VIP Access channel, you can receive many benefits like $8,000 cashbacks, 17% discount on all trading, permanent VIP access to the BYDFI channels in there, and also a 1-month free trial to the Coin Factory Executive. So if you do sign up to BYDFI and get the perks from being an affiliate, or perks of signing up through my affiliate link even, message me on Discord. I'll get you set up with a 1-month free trial to the Coin Factory Executive so you can get prepared and know what is to come, and decide if you want to sign up long term or not, because what we cover in here, especially today, was probably the biggest document we have covered today. I've made a post about this on my community forum page earlier, highlighting that we looked through classified documents, being the Signum Bank one. This is, as we can see here, classification internal. Only their enterprise clients look at this, but I managed to get access to it because I have the right connection in that regard. Talking about potentially extending that bull cycle into 2026, as well as we covered some other big stuff in the stream with the executives earlier, like the fact that the real world asset market, the tokenization market, should be valued at $100 trillion in the next bull cycle by 2029. That's institutional sentiment. That's not me saying that. The proof is already in the community, in the VIP. Again, if you want to find out more, want to know how to best prepare for what's happening, check out the VIP, wop.com/Coin Factory. And with that being said, what we've got to cover today is going to be extremely exciting. This week may be a bit of a chopping pullback one, but what's to follow going into September looks to be exceptionally bullish. That being said, though, welcome back again to the stream. If you enjoy the streams and the daily content, as always, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. And the churv again, brother, what is good? What is good? Who is good? God is good. God is good all the time. All the time. God is good. And actually, speaking of which, we did see an update earlier to Kaspa Silver, not to put his business on blast or anything like that, but he did post it on Twitter, and you can see here he just said, wanted to share an update about my daughter. We recently were able to get a CT scan, and after the scan, the doctors have agreed that her condition is very mild, and that it's best we just wait before we do any surgery, because surgery can have long-term consequences. The longer this can be put off, the higher chance surgery can be avoided altogether, and she may completely grow out of her heart condition, which is honestly fantastic news. Again, God is good all the time, all the time. God is good. And I know myself will continue to keep Kaspa Silva and his family, his daughter, in my prayers, and pray that God continues to watch over them and that she comes out and they all come out better as a result. And of course, hopefully rich with Kaspa as well. But it's great to see, and hopefully, yeah, this stuff is heartbreaking to hear about. So, you know, again, love to hear that things look to be on the mend for Kaspa Silva and his family. So thank you very much for those who are watching out, and to the doctors who are also helping, making sure that his daughter and his family are well taken care of. Welcome back, Blazer. First indeed, well, just off second, but either way, welcome back, bro. You're doing very, very well. Welcome back, you two, Jason77. As well as you, Devious Me. Hi all once again. Falcon, brother, yo, back to you too. KJI, let's go. Indeed, family, welcome back. Andy, with his mining endeavors, he hit one block worth 12 Kaspa. Love that, brother. Keep that up, keep that stacking. I know a lot of miners have turned off recently due to the deteriorating value and the lack of incentive, but with smart contracts seemingly on the horizon, that may incentivize the miners to jump back online again, being there'll be more transactions, therefore more blocks that will have more Kaspa involved. So congrats to you, or shout out to you for your resilience, continue to mine, and even bigger shout out for you hitting that block today. Keep stacking that Kaspa bag, brother. It's looking very healthy indeed. Amen indeed. What's up, LB, on the check-in, bro? Hope you're doing very, very, very well today. That being said, let's get into the content now, first and foremost. We can see, yes, Bitcoin right now, understandably, because Bitcoin is rallying, Bitcoin dominance has decided to start rallying up once again, which for me, again, I do still anticipate that Bitcoin dominance can go higher. Maybe we're going to see the start of an altcoin cycle, which we did talk about again in the VIP, and actually this document here does talk about the catalyst for altcoin cycle, which I'm not going to cover, sorry, but again, that's the perks of being part of the VIP. You get the extra information ahead of time. All I'm going to showcase here is the document, the snippet in question that highlights that we are still early and the bull cycle may extend into 2026. Might extend some other stuff as well, but either way, we'll get to that in a little moment. Point being is Bitcoin dominance is currently at 60%, 60.3%, and for me, it could still rise up higher, but again, depending on the short-term or medium-term macro and geopolitical sentiments, we could see altcoin cycle start earlier. Either way, we'll have to wait and see. I'm still under the impression, and institutional sentiment supports the theory, that we may see an elongated bull cycle, which, if that's the case, think about how bullish that would be for Kaspa, right? All of Kaspa's biggest blockbuster developments start at the end of August going into September, and then going into Q4. Casplex smart contracts, hopefully following stablecoin launches with Kaspa as well, being Circle, being Tether, Igra Lab smart contracts. Then you'll have KRI launching their ZTEX, their Warp Core, their Gigawatt, and whatever else they've got planned going on. You'll see more developments from Son Polinsky, who's also going to be releasing a yellow paper regarding the zero knowledge virtual machines, the ZK VM, as Mr. Mars is definitely going to come and say, stop saying Z. There's a lot bigger developments coming up for Kaspa in that regard, and then think about the potential tier 1 listings, potential ETF filings, Marathon adding Kaspa's name back to the balance sheet. The list can go on, right? We'll get into all the major catalysts, of course, later on. But again, point being is the longer the cycle goes on for, the better it is for Kaspa's potential price action, because it gives it more time to accumulate, get more demand, and therefore more adoption, and therefore a higher value right now. Bitcoin, again, dominance is going up right now, just retracing or rebounding off that trend line. Maybe that is going to be the resistance this time around, and Bitcoin will struggle to break above that and then start coming down. That would be interesting. I'm currently under the impression that Bitcoin will still probably rally up higher, but again, that could change. We can see right now Bitcoin's at $118,618. It did momentarily touch 119k, and once more Bitcoin is trading within that zone between 120k and 116k, which it happened, you know, for 3 weeks or so straight, 2 weeks straight, back in July time. So from July 10th up until about July 31st. So yeah, looking about almost for actually 3 weeks, Bitcoin was consolidating between that zone until we saw a momentary drop off the back of that really hawkish Fed week and the really bad job report data and the bad inflation data. We saw Bitcoin retrace back, but now it's regained that support of 116k, and I'd like to believe therefore it's going to continue trading within this zone and then make that move. But again, for me, I'm not so sure the move will happen immediately, because we do have again some big developments to take into account this week, be it the inflation data, which we do cover on this community in these live streams. Of course, I do give the data first and foremost and in a lot more detail to my VIPs again, but the inflation data report, as well as some other developments like geopolitical tensions, tariffs and whatnot, could potentially cause some retraces in the market this week. But going into the end of this month, into September, things for the most part look up. Ethereum right now goes down a lot more earlier today, but now currently it's only down 0.46%, valued at $4,243, which is good. Again, we're seeing that resistance being coming in around this zone up here, and Ethereum, for all intents and purposes, likely going to make a move up higher as well. And then of course you got your Kaspa right now, which again, Kaspa was down a lot lower earlier today as well. And we can see right now Kaspa's only currently down 0.54% on the daily time frame, valued at 9.45 cents. Again, I think Kaspa's move and its inevitable rally is incoming, and as a matter of fact, according to Kaspa Daily here, over $14 million worth of Kaspa short positions will be liquidated if the price pushes above 10 cents, potentially adding fuel to any breakout move. Now, we've got to keep in mind that Kaspa is a $2.5 billion asset, so 14 million is a lot of money, a lot of capital, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot comparing to Kaspa's market cap. But that could be a visual incentive for traders to determine that 10 cents, if we can hold and push above 10 cents and causing a short squeeze, we might therefore push above and try and find that support there, and then making that push to 11 cents, 12 cents, 13 cents, surpassing these peaks we saw back on July 21st and also back on May 13th. Again, time will tell. Right now, I do think Kaspa is currently showcasing more bullish momentum, and to again slowly and very briefly gloss over what our experienced trader C Crypto covered in the VIP earlier. Simply put, we will hopefully and will likely and definitely need to regain this 0.1 zone up here. Should we regain that, which he's optimistic we can do, and you want to find out more so why again the VIP is available, we will see Kaspa likely go through a very bullish trend. There's a lot more to look out for, but again, the fundamentals matter a lot more so to determine where the price of an asset is going to go. Kaspa has a big catalyst like the smart contract that could help further boost the value of Kaspa in the short term. But again, we all know that stuff. With that being said, we do have also more incentive for why Kaspa, in my opinion, is going to do very, very well in the not too distant future as well. The reason why I say that is because of Bitcoin maximalists. What's up, Farah64? Yo, Quick Crypto. I had to laugh when I saw yesterday that you showed a few of my tweets that I did, Kaspa Wario. Hey, brother, honestly, if I see good tweets, if I see, really nice informative content, I'm going to showcase it. So I'm very happy that, also you're happy and laughed when you saw the tweet. And yeah, honestly, brother, keep up the good work. Really do keep up the good work. Anything that I, sometimes, of course, there's only so much I can see. The community of Kaspa is very large, and I love it for that. But of course, there's only so much I can show up on my feed. So again, there's not an open invitation to just spam me. But if you have a post that you think is good, either post it into my Discord community, my free community in there, or even just at me on Twitter, and I'll have a look at it. And if I think it's a great post, I'll most likely showcase it on the stream. But I do appreciate the content and the work from the Kaspa community. So yeah, thank you very much, brother, for the post, and keep up the great work, brother. It's funny to contribute and not only enjoy. I completely agree. I mean, that's why I love doing what I'm doing here. I enjoy watching Kaspa content and watching the market and being a part of crypto, but I also do this because I really value the community here who enjoys the content that I provide. But I take part in it because I find more enjoyment than talking about it than just mindlessly watching, day and night, Welcome back, Dennis Boy. Hope you're doing very, very well, my man. Can't wait for incoming pump in regards to smart contracts. It's been an interesting roller coaster since buying at 0.04. I mean, you got in extremely early then, brother. So yeah, you're sitting very, very comfy. Still holding strong, buying every dip, bring on Q4. I mean, Q4 is looking extremely bullish for Kaspa, no doubt. And again, I keep just leaking it right now, but this document we'll get into very briefly in a moment will highlight possibilities, institutional sentiment, that we could see this cycle push towards 2026, which would be even more bullish for Kaspa, giving it more time to grow in its adoption, more use case, more users coming onto the Kaspa protocol, and therefore seeing more demand for Kaspa. The supply still dwindling, and therefore the price would rise as a result. Kaspa, I still think, is extremely early. If we do see an elongated cycle, as institutional sentiment suggests, into 2026, for me, Kaspa can go higher than we expect. That's my personal belief, not financial advice, of course. My mind is screeching in fury as we begin to push towards 10 cents. Hey, honestly, those miners are hopefully going to be greedy, eating up that Kaspa very, very soon. Welcome back, Double D, bro. Hopefully having a great day so far. In continuation, we can see here from VJ, again, the converted Bitcoin maximalist to now a proof of work maxi, more so Kaspa and Bitcoin. Kaspa lives rent-free. Fred Krueger, notorious Bitcoin maxi, and again, notorious Kaspa hater, as most of them are. Just highlights here again why Bitcoin is the best. But it says if you're wasting your money, time and energy on things like Kaspa and XRP instead of Bitcoin, you deserve to be poor. I mean, I don't really need to build on that statement right there. XRP, sure, I could argue why that could be the case. I think there are many arguments people can make for XRP. I hold XRP and I think it's going to do well this cycle. I do. I mean, I've already made my gains on XRP, so I can take out completely if I wanted to, but I still think it's got more to go this cycle. But then with Kaspa, I mean, again, the constant slander of Kaspa from Bitcoin maxi, particularly the notable ones like Fred Krueger, like Da Vinci Jeremy, they all have zero credibility. Every time they try to attack Kaspa, it's being based on false premises, misinformation, or just calling it a straight up scam, and then blocking people who try to combat them. Don't get me wrong, if you're getting constantly hassled by hundreds of people, Kaspa community members, then yes, block them. I'm not incentivizing them to block them, but if you're getting spammed by a whole flurry of people, then yeah, blocking them is probably the right alternative or the better thing to do in that sense. But half the time it's something as simple as just a question. If it doesn't align with their ethos, they just block them, haven't got time for them. And I mean, that's also why I don't partake in too much internet beef, if any at all, because it's just not worth my time. But Vijay highlights here, crazy how a $3 billion network can cause so much noise. Study Kaspa. And that for me, again, I love to study Kaspa part because I don't think that's something he's taken from. But if you look at any of my posts, I typically always end my posts with study Kaspa as well. But I think that's quite a frequent thing that a lot of people in our community do anyways. You should study Kaspa. You should, really. And it is crazy. When you look at the market right now, Bitcoin is $2.3 trillion. XRP is number 3, just short of 200 billion. But it's still a big asset. So XRP getting that, slander, if you will, getting that. That is understandable why XRP could be in the head of Bitcoin maxis, It's understandable. Not that it necessarily should be, proof of stake and all, but then when you scroll all the way down, Kaspa's sitting in the top 40 or top 42 right now, 2.5 billion asset. 2.5 billion. How is a $2.5 billion asset causing so much hassle to a 2.3 trillion? That's what a T, trillion. That is 1,000 times the size of Kaspa. 1,000 times. And Bitcoin maxis cannot stop talking about it. Granted, we're talking about a lot to Bitcoin maxis, but we're not here trying to say buy Kaspa. We're saying you are Bitcoin maxis who got into this space for these reasons: to peer-to-peer electronic cash, having a, creating true sovereignty, decentralized currency. Have you checked out Kaspa? And really, not just have you heard of it, have you properly researched into Kaspa, the person behind it, the person who, what they do, everything like that. Because if you looked into it, if you got into Bitcoin for the reasons for why Bitcoin was created, you would be at least intrigued by Kaspa. But unfortunately, many Bitcoin maxis are either in and just standing on their hill because they got in early and therefore they can just live off that and keep pushing out Bitcoin, or they are now converted maximalists where they actually are under the Michael Saylor effect, which is Bitcoin is the best as a store of value, but forgetting that Bitcoin is meant to be a peer-to-peer electronic cash. Point being is, Kaspa still, as a very small asset, continues to live in the head of Bitcoin maxis. And we can see in this post here as well, in a sort of a continuation here, you got this individual here who seems to also be a Bitcoin maximalist who says, what's a Kaspa and why are we on my feed? And Hearty James highlights here, Kaspa is cool if you need every transaction in existence on it to be on the base layer. You're okay with running a full archival node becoming exponentially more difficult for a regular person. Through the years, however, Kaspa has a different way of proving every transaction to be valid on a prune node without needing to fully archival node. If you think the world as it globally adopts Bitcoin will have a problem with its scaling in layers, increasingly easing transactions off the base layer, if you think it can cut through the noise of every other altcoin that claims to be a solution to something Bitcoin lacks. So Kaspa is cool in those regards. And Kaspa Silver highlights here, Kaspa doesn't need archival nodes, it can function with zero existing. And yeah, is what he said here, but he's just kind of going to a conversation back and forth here, once we're talking about again why Kaspa is where it's at right now. The masses seriously don't operate in the capacity. We will be part of the less than 1% with Kaspa, so, or even with crypto. So I want a system that the masses adopt. They actually have high incentives to stay self-sovereign without even realizing how valuable it is. And Kaspa does this. Bitcoin simply has low incentive on this front. Bitcoin, of course, is fantastic. We can't discredit Bitcoin. I don't hate Bitcoin in the slightest. I do find it tough talking in regards to Bitcoin, or not that I ever do, but addressing Bitcoin Maxis who perceive Bitcoin as the best thing since sliced bread, and it cannot be surpassed. Everything can be surpassed, and Kaspa right now is trying to be that thing that surpasses it, and it's already doing so, which we'll get into this clip in a moment, where a Bitcoin maximalist admits Kaspa is superior to Bitcoin. Look, by the way, man, believe it or not, I like Kaspa. I'll probably be dipping a bit of money here and there. Bitcoin as a hedge against the dollar, Kaspa as a hedge against Bitcoin. I'm just predicting where I think the world will go. And again, I think it's just a nice conversation to happen right now. And people forget that, again, Kaspa, the technology is quite old, but as a project, it's only 4 years old. It's very, very new. Very new. It's its first bull cycle. And while it has been lackluster and not very impressive right now, it is still a massively undervalued and underappreciated asset, and all its big developments that will incentivize adoption, they'll also keep a decentralized element and sovereignty, they're coming out this year leading into 2026. So with that in mind, listen closely to this 30-second clip from Bitcoin Maxis in an AMA with 70,000 people tuned in, where they talk about XRP just being, rubbish, which they're always saying that. And I'm not going to here to debate that element here per se, but also therefore talking about Kaspa. And he doesn't want to talk about Kaspa. He also makes points about how Bitcoin's still superior because of its long-standing nature, the standard arguments here. But he does admit that Bitcoin, or that Kaspa even, is superior in regards to transaction speed and costs and effectively tech, therefore. So listen very closely here to this clip here.
I'll grant you that's stolen from us. XRP solves none of that. It is a centralized shitcoin. It's a technology company with no technology. So I see we have a Kaspa people as well. I'm not interested in getting in a debate with Kaspa people. I'll leave if it comes to that, because listen, I will grant you that you have better technology. If that's what you want, I will grant you that you have better technology. I will grant you that you have better technology. If that's what you want, I'll grant you that. It's faster and it's cheaper. Kind of faster and it's cheaper. Faster and it's cheaper. Kind of because nobody uses it and nobody wants it. But yeah, you can stuff a bunch more transactions, but you will never ever recreate the immaculate conception of Bitcoin. It only happened once. So we have.
Now, again, the Bitcoin rhetoric comes out of that as well, saying how you can never replicate the Bitcoin as a once in a lifetime event. And, how Kaspa is able to do what it's doing right now because nobody uses it. And while all arguments for the time being have some form of validity, Kaspa, again, is a 4-year-old project. It hasn't got the adoption that Bitcoin has, as Bitcoin was created in 2008. It's a 17-year-old project, and also has $21 million supply as opposed to 29 billion in Kaspa's. But Kaspa, as an asset, as confirmed from Bitcoin Maxis here, from Justin Belcher, Bitcoin nothing else, he confirms that Kaspa has better technology, that Kaspa is faster and is cheaper. He then just says Kaspa, of course, has that because it's small and it cannot surpass Bitcoin, but again, nobody knows the future. And in my belief, and I'm sure many of our beliefs here as well, superior technology will win. And Kaspa will get the adoption through the smart contracts, their native ZK-VMs coming out, their DAG-Knight, which will allow Kaspa to scale with latency, which is going to be the most innovative thing since the actual creation of Bitcoin. Be the most innovative thing in the whole of crypto, not even remotely close, while still being scalable and decentralized and still providing true sovereignty to the individual. That has not ever been achievable in crypto, and Kaspa's the only one that can achieve that, no centralized backing of any kind. Bitcoiners will flood to Kaspa. If you got Bitcoin maximalists accepting this now, the stages of, the cycle of, I guess, I don't know exactly the right terminology, but how typically a mindset would go in this regard right now is you go from ignorance. So Bitcoiners don't know of Kaspa. They're ignorant to it. Then they hear of Kaspa, but because it threatens their ethos and their belief, they ignore and they deny and they just block. They just push it away, push it to the side, saying not happening. Then they get scared and they start trying to find any form of reason to discredit the project. And then you get some of the Bitcoiners who start actually taking a notice and interest to Kaspa, starting to actually look into it. Like VJ, like Bitcoiner AJ, and many more that started jumping on the boat now. And that's when you start seeing more and more, gradually, bit by bit, starting to accept that Kaspa is better. And after that happens, then it's adoption. We're currently in this latter phase already. Now, I thought there's still going to be a lot that are very, very stubborn still. Name it your Fred Krueger, name it your Da Vinci Jeremy. Still going to be very, very stubborn because they have no reason to switch. At least they've got their empire, they've got their community, they made it off Bitcoin, they got in early, they don't need to switch. I can say a full disclosure right now, I'm in Kaspa early, we're all here early, truth be told. If you get in today right now, Kaspa currently at 9.44 cents, you are early in Kaspa, no shadow of a doubt. Compared to what's going to come in the future, you are extremely early with Kaspa. But if something better comes out in Kaspa in the next 10 odd years, I'm not going to say ignorant to it, I'll look into it. I'm not a maximalist. I'm someone who's trying to find true sovereignty and trying to find the next form of money, but also the best investment opportunity. And for me right now, in terms of security, in terms of opportunity and ROI, return of investment, that is Kaspa for me. And Bitcoiners are now starting to recognize that, which is a very, very big deal. And that's only going to accelerate more and more as smart contracts come out, as these Bitcoiners like VJ and like many more who are intrigued in Kaspa now actually test out Kaspa when smart contracts come out and see it working properly. You get more Bitcoiners and more retailers and even institutions starting to actually test out Kaspa, seeing it working. You'll see Circle and Tether test out Kaspa, going through a little test phase on their mainnet, and if everything goes smoothly, no downtimes with Kaspa, which we can pray for, they'll launch natives, bringing more incentive to be on Kaspa, especially if Circle does that, because they are the #1 most trusted stablecoin in the world. They're currently number 7 on CMC, but they are, smaller than Tether by about 100 billion, but they are the only one with, well, not the only one, our USD actually has some form of legal clarity as well, but they are the most trusted one out there in the space right now. They have IPOs as well. Circle is working alongside these governments as well, so Circle is in a great position. If they accept Kaspa, that's going to be a massive vote of confidence for the protocol and for more adoption to come through. So we are in a very fortunate position right now, and the developments for Kaspa continue to rally up more and more, which is what we want to see. We want to see it. So of course we should already know now that Kaspador is building Casplex Revoke with the help of Zeta Swap, and an app that's inspired by Revoke Cash, which aims to keep the community safe for revoking access on your wallet to various apps. So apps that potentially are acting in ill faith, like your proper fire that just happened. It basically will mean that if you are connecting your wallet to something like Cashback Vote, I'd imagine it basically means that you can see it right now here, find out more here. So calling all testers people who care about their security with the upcoming layer 2 solutions on Kaspa, you can see right here. Token and NFT approvals are integrated. Give it a try and let me know if you find bugs or need new features or the purpose of the app. Check your wallet approvals for all smart contracts, lets you revoke them so the smart contract cannot remove your token NFTs. Should I open source this for everybody? This is, again, really, really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. And I love the work that Capital does to the community. And this is going to help not prevent, but lessen the possibility of future Popify like scandals happening in the future. They're going to be more. Spoiler alert, it happens on any project. It's always going to happen. But these sort of solutions that are being developed will help lessen that, which is fantastic stuff. And you can see here, thanks to Louis from Zealous, who provided an indexer for the Cashback testnet to evoke approvals on Kaspa's layer 2, and it's running smoothly. This will be available for everyone to use, free of charge of course, on the mainnet. Think of it, they're still trying to think of a domain name still, but it's really, really big. So again, for those who may not understand exactly what this entails, which you get ignorance here, in a nutshell, it checks your wallet for all token approvals you've granted to smart contracts, so your ERC20 tokens, your ERC721, so all that sort of stuff here, displays a spender address and the exact allowance amount you've given to them, and lets you revoke the allowances so the contract can no longer move your tokens. So in the sense, therefore, in the sense of Popify, if and like what Popify did, where you bought the NFT from Popify and you gave them your Kaspa, if you utilize this Kaspa revoke thing, it basically means that the wallet that Popify received the Kaspa in and therefore gave you the NFT, that wallet cannot move. That, to my understanding, therefore, it means that that wallet, it revokes the allowances so their contracts can no longer move your tokens. They cannot just decide to send it to another wallet and just basically take profit from it. Which again is not foolproof. I'm sure there'll be workarounds, but it is a massively helpful tool that will bring a lot more protection to the community here. Look, it even says here, this is a massively helpful tool in protecting people from the unfortunately inevitable scams and hacks that may pop up from time to time. Again, you'll probably end up seeing workarounds around this, as there will be some, and especially those who don't know about this, who don't do their due diligence, and therefore just go into random pre-sales and get taken advantage of. But if you utilize apps like this and tools like this and other stuff coming out in the future to help negate this sort of stuff, you'll have protection. Or more so, if they try to rug pull you, they'll be doing it at, with no benefit or gain from it at all. You lose your capital, but they wouldn't get anything from it either. So all they're there is just basically screwing with you for the sake of screwing with it, from my understanding of that. But either way, more building coming to Kaspa, fantastic stuff all around. And speaking of building as well, we've got this post here from Chris Hutchinson again, reposting what Nosti individual here mentioned here, where he made an app, basically Flappy Birds, but on Kaspa. Now there is one that I saw recently that I think it was Levendi and Chris Hutchinson that posted about it, which was on Tau, Bitensor. And they did a very, very good score. I'll be honest, I'm not the best at these type of games. I'm never a big fanatic of Flappy Birds. It's very addictive. And I also had to stop myself because I didn't want to spend all my time playing this game. But you can get access to it and play it right now. I'll link this post in my Kaspa community here. And we might even have a little incentive, we might end up doing a little gaming incentive where give a 24-hour period, and if you can reach a certain score, I might do even a giveaway. That's just an idea. I'm not saying I'll do it anytime in the near future, but as the community grows more and more, and equally, I guess, more stuff comes through, then yes, it's an idea I've just thought about. Again, there's sort of stuff coming to Kaspa, and you can see the stuff here as well. I think and you can get potential for reviving if you answer the correct questions as well, which I think again is a very, very nice little cool feature. Nothing groundbreaking, but it's still the sort of stuff that will incentivize you to stay in Kaspa and also help teach you about Kaspa as well, which I think is also a really nice, neat feature. If we look on CMC right now, Kaspa's currently, again, got a $2.71 billion market cap, which again, still lackluster. We'll hopefully see it go up in the near future. Volume right now, when it does decide it wants to load, as it is forever taking the longest time for me, 64.39 million, 24-hour trading volume. Again, Gate with 30%, Maxis at 10, you got BitGet at 6.6, Bybit at 7.27. And if we take a look at the Kaspa, you can see the KRC 20s right now. Nachos come below 17 million now. Zealous down below 30 million. And it's a little bit of a pullback right now, which is to be expected. There's not much incentive right now, but that incentive hopefully will shift in the coming weeks with listings and market sentiment coming back quicker and quicker. We can see here the sort of inflows coming in today. We saw $23.8 million or million Kaspa even, which is equivalent to $2.2 million worth coming out of this wallet 50 here. So, a third of their portfolio in Kaspa just went in numerous transactions here, which doesn't seem to be to any in particular exchange of sorts. We can't determine for exactly, but a lot of $100 transactions coming out right now. So that's a lot taking out from this wallet today. And then we can see equally more so other big outflows from KuCoin, from Gate, this individual here. And then even inflows here, you saw 19, almost 20 mil Kaspa coming into Kraken's wallet here, alongside 3.6, 3.4 coming into these wallets here as well, scooping up a lot of Kaspa, which again showcasing that the whales are still accumulating. And again, remember, when Kaspa does surpass 10 cents, there will be a short squeeze, which means you'll see likely a little bit of a relief, a little bit of a rally of Kaspa, not necessarily an explosion, but a chance to see a little bit of a higher push, maybe towards that 10.5, maybe even 11 cents in the near term. We've got some more posts to cover regarding Kaspa, of course. This stuff here regarding some smart contract talk between Ori and Chris Kang. Ori, I believe, is one of the core developers for Kaspa, and of course Chris Kang is the co-founder and one of the core devs in regards to Casplex, which we'll get to that in a moment here. This post here also giving a summary of what Tom Polinsky and Marcus have been talking about recently with smart contracts and Kaspa as well. And then we'll get into the other major posts, which is going to be a weekly recap of what has happened so far, which I should have done first, should be told. And then a one that you may all be waiting for here, one of my alpha documents that, again, if you want to find out more, the VIP, check it all out in more detail there, which is institutional confirmation from Sygnum Bank that this bull cycle may extend into 2026. That being said, let's get into the question first and foremost again quickly. LB says, when the hate don't work, they start telling lies, French Montana. Precisely. But again, at the end of the day, they'll end up inevitably adopting and accepting Kaspa. For me, it's inevitable. The things people were saying about Bitcoin are now being said about Maxis, about Kaspa. Precisely. You think about what JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, and Larry Fink were all ignorant and ignoring Bitcoin and hating on Bitcoin, saying it's for scams and criminals. They're now hedging heavily into Bitcoin ETFs, creating reserves and treasuries for Bitcoin, adopting it in the fullest. What's happening with Kaspa right now is no different, but instead it's Bitcoin maximalists adopting that same strategy. They're saying Kaspa's a scam, and they'll say the exact same things. It's a ghost chain, it's a scam, a whole plethora of reasons that have little to no credibility and are also just misinformation. But in the same sense that how Bitcoin is superior to the monetary system we have right now, Kaspa is superior to Bitcoin in that regard of technology, which again, not me saying that, Bitcoin is saying that. So even they're accepting that Kaspa's better. Kaspa will come out on top of that for all that as well. What happened to Binance Mining Pool, who ended up winning? I have no idea because I didn't partake in that. I think they did distribute the winnings to the people, but I have no idea, honestly. Maybe those who partook would know, but I don't know if any of them are here right now. Yeah, precisely. Bitcoin is 1,000 times larger than Kaspa, and they're scared of Kaspa. That is saying a lot. Honestly, saying a hell of a lot. Someone give them 1 Bitcoin every time they open their mouths on Kaspa. I mean, that's basically what they're crying for right now. Every time they mention Kaspa, they get so many more views on their posts. It's definitely partly engagement farming as well, in my belief. But at the same time, I wouldn't necessarily say give these people more money, you know? I mean, the fact that he's comparing Kaspa with a top 5 crypto is all need to be said. I completely agree to Vijay here. Moon yet? Not yet, Winhong. I know you asked every stream. Not yet, but hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. Welcome back, Gosu Bro. Hope you're doing very, very well today. Welcome back to the stream, my man. Sarcasm, because those involved in utilizing the infrastructure of crypto want to use crappier technology. And you didn't have to say sarcasm, although I appreciate that. But yeah, I agree. You know, those Bitcoiners who are saying, you know, we're going to use Bitcoin. Why would you use Bitcoin, which is not possible to scale? It's so expensive and so slow. Why don't you use that over something that's cheaper and better and faster? And it doesn't make sense. You know, it literally doesn't make sense. Kaspa will melt faces, no doubt, Dimitar. No doubt indeed. Welcome back, Brett Bro. Candy on Bitcoin Maxis. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they attack you, then you win. That is the quote I was looking for. That was actually the quote I was looking for from Mahatma Gandhi there. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they attack you, which right now we're going into the attacking phase. They're attacking us now. They're attacking us right now. Don't waste your money or time on things like Kaspa and XRP. You deserve to be poor if you do so. And this guy's not really attacking so much here. And even here saying, you know, Kaspa's great. So it's already starting to win now. It's going through that winning phase now. Kaspa's actually good, but it's just small. Soon they'll realize it. Every truth goes through 3 stages. First, it's ridiculed, then it's violently oppressed, and then finally it's accepted as self-evident. There's no doubt about it. And you're seeing more Bitcoiners coming over. So, and that for me, I would actually, and I know, I think Mr. Miles and Kaspa God have both agreed to meet with me personally as well, that the adoption of Bitcoin maximalists into Kaspa is actually arguably the biggest catalyst for Kaspa. all well and good seeing smart contracts and stable coins and Dagnite and tier 1 listings, all fantastic stuff. But if you have Bitcoin maximalists who only like Bitcoin and have hated anything else to ever come out of crypto, hence what they call everything a scam coin, if they start actually shifting to Kaspa, the biggest asset in the world, the biggest community in the world, Bitcoin maximalists, coming to Kaspa is the biggest recognition you can get because they have never accepted anything in crypto. Marathon Digital Holdings, a Bitcoin-only mining company, accepted Kaspa. Bitcoiners will follow in suit in the near future. You've got Bitcoin maximalists like Lucky with 2.2 mil followers on Twitter saying that Kaspa is going to go through a significant move in the future. He is bullish on Kaspa. Kaspa is going to see a lot more adoption in this cycle from Bitcoin maximalists. And again, if we see this cycle extend into 2026, it'll be even bigger. So actually, you know what? Before I get to more of the posts, let's get into this article here, my alpha document here. And again, selfless or shameless promo once more to find out a lot more alpha information ahead of time alongside trade alerts, the private live streams do every single Sunday, every single week, and educational videos, all that sort of stuff. Check out the VIP. You can join for free for a week or for a month if you sign up to BYDFI, a no KYC, no VPN exchange, which the affiliate link to join is down below in the description, and you get many benefits through signing up to that. If you sign up, let me know on Discord, send me a message and I'll help you out with the benefits you can get from that as well. You can get 1 month free trial to this as well, and we cover a lot of documents in here. We cover documents today from KPMG, from PwC, who by the way, PwC is a KII partnership, and the PwC people stated, and I quote, "Crypto is once again a key consideration for wealth managers." That is huge. And again, if you want to find a document stuff, that document's already available in my VIP. Here is the one note from Signum Bank, which for me, again, the VIPs that are in there, they already know what's coming. And they've covered this in a lot more detail as well. They have access to the document in the VIP as well, so look through it themselves. And because I don't want to, do them wrong, those who are actually benefiting and paying coming to the community, I'm not going to check the whole document here, but I will highlight this point here and go into the extent, and then go to this point here as well, effectively here as well. But in fact, I'll just go into this part here, because this part is effectively saying what that key point was there. Basically, it says here, as we've been hearing more and more with us now being in August, we're now getting close to that Q4, and as a result, therefore, many KOLs, many investors, many retailers are now predicting a cycle stops close. And it is, but is it? As the crypto market has adhered to a consistent 4-year cycle so far during its short history. Again, 2008 is going to be 17 years of crypto. Short history. During a 4-year cycle, expectations now are that we are approaching the end of the current bull cycle with bear predictions for 2026. However, as global liquidity remains plentiful and expanding, as we can see, the M2 money supply is at all-time highs. Furthermore, institutional adoption progresses while demand for treasury companies remains strong. We're talking about Bitcoin reserves being formed, a national stockpile from the White House to create a reserve including Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and Cardano. We're seeing companies create treasuries for XRPs, your Bitcoins, your Ethereums. Tom Lee's creating a MicroStrategy for Ethereum. We haven't even got ETF filings in its full force just yet. You already got Bitcoin and Ethereum right now. And streamlined US regulations, because the Genius Act are out right now, and there are more regulations. And in this document here, this institutional document here, they cover more, which I didn't even know about until I read this, more regulatory developments coming out this cycle likely as well that will help bring more adoption through as well. Of course, we know the Clarity Act that's coming out, that hopefully be admitted in the next month or two, but there's more than that as well. That is the White House, the CFTC, and the SEC are all working together to do. All of that together likely will act as a catalyst for at least certain segments of this market. We believe the current cycle has further to go. Now, when you combine that whole 2 paragraphs together, bear predictions for 2026 is the current sentiment. However, due to all of these major catalysts from the masses of institutional capital coming in, the cycle has further to go. This is what these, again, they haven't got a crystal ball or anything. They could equally be wrong, but they have better tools than we have access to. They are in these insider circles. Signum Bank is one of the big institutions talking to all these big companies. I've showed you a document publicly already, which is also available on my VIP, where Signum Bank confirmed that $1.8 quadrillion worth of transactions is coming to crypto. That information is available in the VIP already. And they're saying here that these bear predictions for 2026 may not come true, as there's still so many more catalysts to come through later on this year, and going into 2026 we may see the cycle expand and go into 2026. And again, the stuff we cover here, all the stuff here, there's so much they cover here, the market outlook, all the stuff here that lets us know what is incoming. And that's one of hundreds of documents we have in there, and what we cover today equally is very, very insightful. You want to find out more, again, level up your trading game, level up your crypto game, knowing what's coming, therefore leveling up your trading strategy so you're best prepared. Check out the VIP. Again, you can join for free for a week or for a month if you sign up to BYDFI and follow the steps in the Discord server. If you need help with that stuff, again, reach out to me on Discord. I'll help you out there. But we are trying to stay ahead of the game, learning more, getting ahead, not even just with information, but also with trading picks, be it your futures market or even your memes. And we're trying to get ahead, and we're making gains in there. And the long trade that C Crypto, our experienced trader, did in there as well is still open right now. He opened a long trade on ETH sub 2k, 1.8k, and it's still open right now. And he told us about this. So we are cooking in there, albeit all that. And again, as you think about this document and how it's highlighting a potential market extension into 2026, then again circle back to Kaspa and all of its blockbuster developments coming out end of 2025 in the next few months, one starting literally in 21 days on the 30th of August into 2026. That's how early we are. And if the cycle does extend, Kaspa is going to surpass all expectations, because it will have the time from the 30th of August. It will have not just September, October, November, December, give or take, so 3-4 months of a adoption accumulation. It could have potentially an extra 3 months on top of that, if not more. Again, we don't know how long it's going to push into 2026. There's no even guarantee it will do, but sentiment right now suggests it could. It very well could. And that would be huge if it does. We're going to enter the 4-year cycle, which there has been posts in the past talking about the typical 4-year cycle is coming to an end. And now we've got confirmation from institutions here as well, which makes me only more bullish for Kaspa, and therefore also potentially shifts my trading strategies. My trading strategy was to take 70% out of Kaspa at the peak, or quote near the peak, DCA out near the peak, and then DCA back in. But if there's not going to be a confirmed cycle top and maybe elongate further, I may just continue stacking more and more. I might decide to ride it all the way back down and then take it back up again. Stuff we're trying to learn in here more and more. And the stuff we covered again today and the weeks prior, massive. So if you want to find out the information for institutions, along with the other benefits in there, and also check out BYDFI to get extra benefit from trading as well, all information is in the description below. Highly recommend it, because we are trying to stay ahead of the game right now, and we know what's coming to the space. And we also know what's coming out this week as well, which is why we are also prepared for this week and potentially preparing for some pullbacks this week, but also anticipating a lot more volatility and bullish momentum coming throughout the end of the month into September as well. Now I'll get to more questions real quickly before I get to the final post for this stream here. But I'm excited, hopefully you all are as well. Did you see the OKX post about cat memes where Nacho was in it? Yes, I covered that in yesterday's stream actually. I see if I reposted it. I did right here, yeah. You know, I said like, and I even posted here, I was like, shout out to all those who got into Nacho sub 10 mil, which I did highlight on stream, that I don't hold many KYC 20 memes. I only really hold Wolfie and Nacho. I do plan to expand, but right now I don't really have any desire to do so. But I did talk about Nacho and how I got in sub 10 mil. And that's not an incentive therefore you to buy it. I wasn't saying buy Nacho. I'm not a financial advisor. You do your own research and trade your own discretion. But Nacho, for what they're doing and how deeply ingrained they are into the Kaspa community and the ecosystem, I think they're a strong pick. And you know, you got OKX posting about them alongside your Michis and your Minis and your Toshis and you know all the other ones here as well. Yeah, it is bullish, and arguably, you know, the joke here is maybe OKX will list Nacho before Kaspa. I doubt it, but hey, that would be very bullish for Nacho, no doubt. No doubt about, and of course also holding Nacho could see a lot more. You got to think about it again. The tier 1 or the major exchange listings are still major liquidity injection and catalysts that have not come through for Kaspa yet. That could send it a lot higher than we expect as well, especially again if the cycle does to extend into 2026. We'll go back to Loud Bro, who's doing very, very well. I need to share a screenshot with you. It's important. Well, by all means, go for it, brother. You You can share it to me if you send me a DM on Discord. You can equally send me a message on my Twitter. As you see right here, this is my the link to the Discord server, the free one, is here. You can join through there, and then just have a look around, get more familiar with the community, and you can then just click my name on the top right, the Ledger Kings, obviously me being the admin, and send me a message there, and I'll answer there. Or equally, you can send me a message on Twitter. That also works. If you want to share something by me, go for it, brother. I'm intrigued. I'm definitely first today. Yeah, you are, Greg, as always. Any concerns with Bitcoin, DeFi on ICP, layer 1 ICP to layer 1 Bitcoin? This could hinder Kaspa's growth. Thoughts? I'm not too concerned, I'm not too familiar with it. I'm not too familiar with anything happening with ICP right now. And in all honesty, maybe it's my ignorance, but I'm not too worried about ICP as a project. I don't personally rate ICP. I think ICP is one of those assets, and again, that is my ignorance talking, because I don't know too much about it, so maybe I'm wrong, but I think ICP is a cryptocurrency that when this inevitable crypto cunning happens, ICP will be one that probably falls off. Because of, you look at the market chart, it's not the best thing to look at. It's quite disgusting, actually, if I'm perfectly honest. And it's the fact that it's got infinite max supply, meaning that it's no different to the current system we have right now. We can print dollars out of thin air, you can print ICP out of thin air from the insiders. I don't think that's good. So I think ICP is one that will fall off. So in regards to your question, Matt, I don't know the true answer. But at the same time, I think what Kaspa's building, and despite my ignorance to that, my understanding of Kaspa and what they're building, taking into account the ZK VMs and the Dagnite as two of many more elements coming through, like the MEV resistance as well, Kaspa, I think, is not got a real strong competitor in the space right now. It might change, but right now I don't think so. Okay, good evening, Don Carlos, bro. Welcome back to the stream. I'm managing very, very well. And yes, as Crypto Goes to highlights, as always, if you enjoy these content, these streams, leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more, and stay tuned in and locked in. Turn on that notification bell as well, so hopefully you do get notified when I do go live, so you can stay locked in and up to date with what's coming to the stream right now. ICP is garbage. I wouldn't be worried about it in the slightest. I mean, that's kind of my sentiment as well. Nothing against those who hold ICP. Again, if it can make gains, it makes gains. I don't really. I'm say it again. What you hold in crypto doesn't bother me. You're your own person. If you think ICP can make you gains a cycle, then go for it. I mean, again, I hold XRPs. I hold some other assets as well because I think I can make gains in them. But in saying that, I don't see the longevity. The way I see Kaspa as a long-term holding and also gains a cycle, there's nothing that compares to Kaspa for me. I think you can make gains in SEI, in SUI, in XRP, in Tau. Pretty much everything here will make some big gains. Of course, there's a BEX as well we're talking about. I think it can make big gains a cycle. Is it got the absolute future potential? My Kaspa's conviction is higher than anything else. Why could Bitcoin Maxis just force a hard fork for Bitcoin to use DAG? Because they've been people who've been asking for that for a while, but for the most part, most of them are just stubborn, and a lot of them, like Da Vinci Jeremy, believes hard forks are terrible, which I think is incorrect. Hard forks are risky if done incorrectly. If done correctly, like Kaspa did with 10 BPS, they're perfectly fine. And if anything, they're great for innovation and for further improving the project. So I don't think Bitcoin will ever hard fork because it's been so long and it's kind of almost like a cardinal rule to them. They won't want a hard fork, which I think is honestly ridiculous. Welcome back, Wyatt, bro. Hope you're doing very, very well. Welcome back to the stream, my man. And yes, bringing the alpha as always. Welcome back, Kryptoni as well, bro. Hope you're doing very well, brother. You're the best Kappa YouTuber. I try. I wouldn't say I'm the best. I say I'm a above average. I put it at that. I'm above average. I'll give myself that. I wouldn't say I'm the best. I think there are many, many talented individuals here who work harder than me as well. And they should get their kudos. I'm also scared for tomorrow. I always hate going live on Monday now because Blockchain Banter goes live at the same time as me, and I just don't feel like I can compete to those guys. The alpha they get in there is insane, but at the same time, we're a community all as one. We're one community, one mind, one end-brain, and we all work together. So when they cover the alpha, I obviously reach out to Lavendi and Chris Hutchison and I ask if I can share it myself, and they are very, very eager for me to share it as myself as well. So shout out to everybody who's doing their hard work and spreading the knowledge about Kaspa and equally about crypto and this stuff as well. No, nothing is going to hinder Kaspa's growth. Using ICP as well for Bitcoin just turns ICP into a layer 2. Kaspa won't be stopped. That's also not a bad sentiment in a very short sense. Technically, that could happen, turning Bitcoin into to a DAG, but radically changing its infrastructure would be very drastic. Nodes of wallets would need to be. Yeah, that's also a thing. If you do a hard for Bitcoin, you'd have to rewrite everything, and that's just not likely going to happen. You know. They hate Kaspa because they can't believe it and that it can function by itself. Precisely, well, precisely. They're scared of Kaspa, basically. It's not the Maxis to control Bitcoin, it's the miners. You'd have to convince the node operators and miners to switch, and yeah, that's just not going to happen right now. They're already making their gains with Bitcoin, they don't need to change. They don't want to change. And they're better off just switching to Kaspa or switching to another proof of work than rewriting all of Bitcoin. And yeah, the community is very conservative as well. All making very valid points here, you know. You will die laughing. Well, I look forward to it, Farah. Wherever you send it to me, whether it be Twitter or my Discord, I will reply when I see the message, or when I see the message I'll reply, and I'm intrigued. Honestly, I'm very intrigued, so yes, definitely send it through, brother. I don't care about stupid Bitcoin Maxis, I only care accumulate more Kaspa. Hey, great sentiment, Dimitar, as you should. Keyboard cat number 1, what's up, Beam stupid? Hope you're doing very, very well. That's why Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin were created, and also why Kaspa creator made Kaspa, Tom Polinsky indeed, because he knew Bitcoin's community would not do so. So it's easier to start from scratch. If someone took it, I tagged you. Oh, okay, perfect. Let me quickly check. I'm just going to quickly check on my other monitor and then drag it over. Right here. That's... here it is, okay. Take up a warrior. Lightning Network is not Bitcoin. Lightning Network is not a network. Miners don't get any value. Every proof of work is programmed to die. For any proof of work system to survive, you need to have a move exchange on the base layer, period. Complete facts. Besides the limitation of the Bitcoin scaling on the layer 1, it is already in its deathbed because Core doesn't care. Lightning Network is Bitcoin locked up in its... Lightning Network is Bitcoin locked up in a 2 of 2 multisig. It is Bitcoin. There's nothing wrong with scaling in layers. This is how internet scales. This is how internet money scales. You are completely ignoring the heat reuse of layer 1 mining. I don't care about my... What? Yeah, honestly. The ignorance is crazy at times, I swear. Anything to... And for me, it also just shows that they don't truly understand what they're holding. They can't. They just don't understand what they're holding. For anything to be a form of money, it has to be able to fit all 3 categories. Unit of account, meaning how you have stable coins like USDC. Circle is USDC dollar denominated. Unit of account meaning it could have maybe UCAS. So it's Kaspa denominated, but unit of account has to be one element, plus store of value, which Bitcoin has both of those two technically speaking, but also has to have mean of exchange. Bitcoin cannot have that final factor. It's too slow. It's not scalable. So in that regard, therefore, for any system to survive, which you're right, it has to have that final key factor. For it to be a form of money, for it to survive, it has to be mean of exchange, and Bitcoin does not have that. So it might take a while. It might also just only value at early. Well, no, in that regard, then it will, because if there's no incentive to mine Bitcoin, because there's no medium of exchange value to it, it will inevitably fall off. And the Lightning Network is not even a solution, because not even the Lightning Network is terrible. It's centralized, and also it's terrible. So yeah, honestly, it's yeah, good job, brother. Honestly, I'm just again outing the ignorance right now. It's crazy how just it's crazy. It's the whole situation is crazy, and these people are either going to adapt or they'll get left behind. That's one key element again we talk about in our VRP time and time again. The key talking point always is if the retailers or institutions, they don't adapt, they will get left behind. That is literally one of the reoccurring points we see every single alpha document I publish from the institutional sentiment. They're all saying if you do not adapt, you will get left behind. It's no different here as well. They will adapt to Kaspa or they'll get left behind. If ICP became a sidechain for Bitcoin, it would not do Bitcoin any favors because because either would not be paying the miners or using Bitcoin security. It would not be paying Bitcoin miners. Yeah, precisely. It's ridiculous. Yeah, honestly, I couldn't believe that either. You skipped my post, Jay. Did I skip your post? Which post? Oh, this one. Yeah, no, I'm about to get to it, brother. Don't worry. If you talk about this one, then yeah, I'm about to get to this post in a second. Don't worry about it. I'm going to go through all the posts. I've still got a bit more to cover in this stream anyways. Yeah, no, it's ridiculous, honestly. It's crazy. If the Bitcoin Maxis doesn't care about mining revenue, then eventually the miners will have no incentive on it. Yeah, exactly right. And that's what this post from from Farah is talking about here. Like, it's ridiculous how they're this ignorant to it. They don't understand. Yeah, they don't understand what they hold. It's crazy. That's under my ex-post law. I'm a Bitcoin maxi, but someone told me to do some research and I found myself here. And again, I have nothing against Bitcoin maxis. Might sound like I do. I don't honestly have anything against Bitcoin maxis. I have a problem against those who are calling out Kaspa, calling it a scam coin without doing any research. And evidently you, Brock, here, are someone who's tuned into the community, who is a Bitcoin maxi, but also was told to look into Kaspa, and you didn't decide to be ignorant about it, and like, oh, it's just a scam coin, leave it alone. You're like, oh, I'm intrigued, let me look into it. And you're learning. Now, whether you agree with what we say here or not is up to you. But regardless, you're learning stuff about crypto, about the institutional adoption coming to the space as well, and how the cycle may elongate, all this stuff again that I provided more details to my VIP, but you're learning more about the space and ultimately how even Bitcoin maximalists are now accepting that Kaspa is superior. That is the sentiment that's shifting right now, and more people like Brock are coming through as well. So welcome, brother. Great to have you in here, honestly. There are over 800 people having the problem, and there's no info anywhere to help them. If I would have into so heavy, I would have probably said F this. Oh, I mean, there's a lot of people right now who don't know where to find information properly. That's the thing also why I do what I do here, but also why I have that VIP, where the VIP provides even more information, where the stuff that people don't get access to. This is stuff that you could find. It's not, this is stuff that you can find, of course, being here, I can give it to you all in a 1 hour format. But then the stuff I provide here as well, stuff that people generally don't know how to find or they can't get access to. And the stuff that I'm trying to provide as well through my community to incentivize more conviction and understanding and help for you to become a better investor. But yeah, there are a lot of people here who just don't have the problem of not being able to get any info. That's why we have our community here, to spread information about Kaspa and crypto as a whole. And yeah, those who, if people didn't have the information, then they would have probably also just, like if you didn't have information on Kaspa, you'd be like, oh screw, I'm not going to bother. But you have it now. This is why, like Kaspa Bros, we know how proof of work actually works and what is needed to evolve and survive. Precisely. That's entertaining to eat to my sanity. Honestly. It's true, they won't. The network simply just isn't fast enough or used enough to make enough miner revenue to sustain the miners after the emissions. Block will stop. Bitcoin is doomed. It's a slowly falling off, slowly falling off. Many people lost their Kaspa savings and probably are not going back to Kaspa, and that is an unfortunate situation due to them going all in, putting in more than they should have done at the top. It sucks, and my sympathies go out to those who did lose out. But again, that's for me. My conviction is not wavered at all, and because I believe in my Kaspa, I also didn't invest too much to where it would affect my well-being. And also, I look at documents like this we're in an institutionally different cycle. People forget that we're not in a retail cycle anymore. Institutions control the cycle. These documents hold a lot more significance than they ever did before. What they are talking here, Signum here, and what KPMG are talking about, what PwC are talking about, who again is a partner from the KII, and every other document we cover there, they're all talking about the exact same thing, and they have so much more weight. They are smart money. They know what's coming to the market. That's what we talk about here as well. People who lost out on Kaspa, I understand it, and I sympathize with you, honestly. But for me, I'm not worried about Kaspa in the slides, and again, I'm not worried about the market in the slides, even the altcoins, because I do see what's happening, and they even do talk about it a little bit here regarding altcoin stuff as well. Which again, if you want to find that stuff out, they're centered on altcoins and how and what's going to come and when we're going to see the altcoins rally. Again, information down below. No, information in the VIP. You can check it out for free for 7 days. If you really wanted to, just to get an inkling of the information provided in there, you can join for free for a week, look through all the documents, and then just leave. I'd recommend staying for longer and learning a lot more in there, but that's also an option if you really feel the need to. I followed you, Kaspa Crypto King. I'll give you a follow back after the stream, brother, once I've finished up and then I also eat my dinner and do my last little bit of winding down for work. I've still got to publish one more outfit document into the VIP that I didn't get to do earlier today, which is from KPMG, which wobble on the sentiment of spreading information. I'm not going to show it on screen because again, that's a benefit for they can see and get access to the document itself. But KPMG stated that 93% of financial institutions will modernize their payment system to blockchain by the end of this year. So yeah, take that as you will. What's coming to the space, we are still very early. I started mining at 20 cents. And it's been a long, painful ride. I'm sure it has been, honestly. I'm sure it has been. But that being said, I'm going to just get into the last bit of the content and then maybe answer questions, but I am now past the hour mark, so I don't want to be dabbling on for too long here, so we can see this post here. From Gonzo here, Son Polinsky and Sutton just dropped a proposal that could take Kaspa to a whole another level. Imagine ZK programs running directly on layer 1s, each as sovereign machines firing off atomic cross at moves without roll-up gumming up the engine. Build on Kaspa layer 1, bridge anywhere, stay lightning fast, stay trustiness. If this actually lands, which I'm hoping and likely it will do, and the yellow paper is coming out end of this month likely, it blows open the whole damn game. The floodgates will explode open. No middlemen, no liquidity traps, just raw decentralized power from that Bitcoin cannot properly achieve. Kaspa's not just sprinting anymore, it is gearing up to run the entire circus, become the infrastructure for the entire blockchain world. That's what was talked about here. We talked about it briefly yesterday as well. I plan to make a video on it probably tomorrow in a bit more detail if I can do, if I have the time to do so. And then we also have this post here, which I'm going to summarize this whole back and forth between Chris Kang and Ori here as well, which in summary basically this conversation between the two is talking about the technical challenges and solutions for building the layer 2 solutions on top of Kaspa's layer 1, so the Casplex or the IGRA basically, specifically concerning transaction processing and block production. So the key points they're talking about here is talking about how the layer 2 can handle transactions for the high throughput of Kaspa's layer 1. And how layer 2 nodes do not censor transactions, but rather select and execute them based on the Ethereum execution layer's gas limits. We're also going to explain a little bit about how the layer 2 fees are used for operational costs and to pay ZK provers. But the interesting part here is when they start talking about these hypotheticals here, right here more so, where they're talking about where a single layer 1 block could contain enough transactions to create many layer 2 blocks. And they concluded, Chris Kang and Oi here, that this is a normal and scalable process, and there is a challenge for layer 2s therefore to keep up with Kaspa's high BPS. And the solution would be potentially to add a gas field to layer 1 transactions, which could help layer 2 developers simplify their design and improve performance in a real-time environment. So I think we have heard some Polinsky and Sutton talk about making gas fees on the native Kaspa protocol, and the layer 2s therefore haven't got to go have to onboard that element themselves, which does alleviate a lot of the pressure off the layer 2, which would be a good feature as well. Again, still theory, hypotheticals, still early doors, but I'm sure we'll see the Kings all squash, and I'm sure Michael Sutton and Son Polinsky will talk about that more with their incoming ZK VMs coming out as well. It's ultimately very interesting stuff here, and a testament to what's coming out very, very soon. We are very fortunate, very early, and lucky to be we're out of Kaspa right now. Price has been struggling for a while, we can't discredit that, and I'm not ignorant to that, but you can't also be ignorant to what's coming out for Kaspa and equally what's coming out to crypto. Because what's coming out cannot be ignored. It is going to shake this space. The level of adoption we're going to be seeing, the capital we're going to be seeing, again, as I mentioned, and I highlighted in more detail, and already posted in my VIP, the videos available in my VIP, $100 trillion in real world asset in the market cap by 2029. That's insane. Look at the market cap right now for real world assets. If we go on to that, cryptocurrencies, real world assets. Currently, this market cap for real world assets is at 1.89 billion. 1.89 billion. And institutions and fintech companies are confirming in 4 years this will be 100 trillion. I'm not making this up. If you want to find out more, again, VIP. Been a shameless stream for plugging that today, but I just really want to drive that home because what we covered today I think was one of the biggest streams we have to date, and it got me very excited, and that's why I wanted to share a little bit today. But I'm not going to do too much because again that's discrediting to those who are actively in that community learning more anyways. But you definitely do need more crypto for what's to come. I can agree with that much. Someone say Lightning is just crappy crypto automated clearing houses, and I laugh so hard. Honestly, it's a very fair point. Very, very fair point. If it's too late, then start early. I need more Kaspa. Who wants to heist Wallet 1 with me? Even split out of the recycler. Just kidding, FBI and such. Yeah, you have to add the disclaimer there, you're just kidding. Just kidding indeed. But that being said though, family, thank you all for watching once again. If you enjoy the stream, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. If you want to know more about crypto and Kaspa, check out the free community. We're talking more about, everything in there every single day. Pretty much, free communities right there, link right there in the script on my homepage, also in the description. Equally, more alpha information, the stuff we covered today, and in so much more detail. And the links to it are also available there as well. Is the VIP. Join for free for a week or for a month if you sign to BYDFI, which the affiliate link to join is down below as well. All information is all available in my free Discord server. That being said, have a great day, good evening, good night, family.